Hey there, welcome everyone. How's my big family around the world doing? If this is your first time here, we're honored to have you join us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. So, there's a new plan in motion for a ground operation in Yemen. Armed Yemeni factions are planning an offensive against the Houthis, hoping to take advantage of the recent US airstrikes.
According to reports from both Yemeni and American officials, the UAE, which supports these factions, recently shared this plan with US officials.
Observers closely watching the war in Yemen say the American airstrikes alone won't be enough to defeat the Houthis. Meanwhile, Tel Aviv is telling its citizens,
"We'll send you alerts whenever a Houthi missile is headed our way. But what about embassy alarms and such?"
The American aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson has entered the battle in the Red Sea, and a leader in the Aden-based Yemeni government has called for an alliance with Tel Aviv against the Houthis. There's been suspicious movement of ballistic missiles being launched from Yemen, which has Washington worried. The US military has even released footage showing their preparations for a major attack on Yemen. Elsewhere, Qatar is caught in tricky negotiations with Tel Aviv, while Egypt just acquired a new strategic weapon, something Tel Aviv is warning about and wants to prevent from being delivered. Meanwhile, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad reportedly met with an Israeli delegation in the UAE. Trump is also discussing military plans to strike Iran, while Moscow recently hosted Iran's foreign minister. On live TV, Trump also embarrassed Ukraine's Zelensky and predicted a peace deal that could end the war in Ukraine within a month.
Tel Aviv has amped things up, calling on Washington to help rein in the Houthis after their missiles became a serious threat. The US launched a series of airstrikes on several Yemeni provinces, but the Houthis, also known as Ansar Allah, say they shot down another American MQ-9 drone.
Nasser al-Din Amer, a senior figure in the Sana'a government, confirmed that military operations in the Red Sea are ongoing and that no Israeli ships have passed through since the blockade started.
He also said they'll continue attacks on Tel Aviv, targeting both the aircraft carrier and other US naval vessels. Another leader, Abdullah al-Numi, claimed that the US hasn't been able to move a single ship through the Red Sea in the past year and a half, calling it a historic victory for Yemen.
In response, Tariq Mohammed Abdullah Saleh, also known as Tariq Afash, has called for an international Arab-Western alliance to attack Sana'a. He's ready to work with anyone opposed to the Houthis, including Tel Aviv, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and the United States. The Bulgarian army newspaper reported that the US air campaign has failed to achieve its goals despite spending over $5 billion. The Houthis are still attacking ships and maintaining strong military capabilities. The paper said the United States is now faced with a dilemma: launch a risky ground war or admit defeat, as advanced technology hasn't been enough to stop the Houthis, who've used their experience and Yemen's rugged terrain to their advantage. According to the paper, the US has three options: improve its strategy, go in with ground forces, or push for a diplomatic solution that acknowledges the Houthis' growing influence. Newsweek also reported that Yemen is continuing to challenge the United States by launching missiles toward Tel Aviv and blocking Israeli maritime traffic in the Red Sea, despite ongoing American airstrikes. It said Sana'a's forces remained strong, showing no signs of weakening, even after heavy damage from US attacks. In another update, the US Navy shared footage from the USS Carl Vinson showing them loading powerful bunker-busting missiles and prepping advanced fighter jets like the F-35C and EA-18 Growler for operations against the Houthis.
The U.S. Central Command also released new footage of ammo being loaded for future strikes, part of a series of photos and videos documenting the ongoing campaign against Houthi targets. Even Trump shared some of this content on X, emphasizing U.S. military support in the region.
On the Israeli side, they announced that citizens will now receive immediate alerts on their phones if any missiles are launched from Yemen, just like during the recent Iranian attack.
Meanwhile, the UAE installed a multitasking 3D radar system, LM-2084, with active electronic scanning in the port city of Puntland, near the Bosaso airbase they control in northeast Somalia. Could this base be gearing up for strikes on Yemen? We'll let you decide.
In related movements, a U.S. Air Force C-40 aircraft left Bahrain, headed toward the Diego Garcia base in the Indian Ocean. Lastly, shifting to the Palestinian front, Israeli outlet Haaretz reported that former U.S. intelligence officer Michael Pregent claimed Qatar asked Palestinian factions to keep Israeli hostages, saying Doha is a place where everything's for sale and nothing is genuine.
Meanwhile, Israel's Channel 12 said Prime Minister Netanyahu told the family of Eitan Mor, who is held in Gaza, that the current talks are focused on bringing back 10 hostages at once.
Meanwhile, a former head of Israel's National Security Council voiced support for the Israeli pilots, calling for an end to the war and the return of hostages, saying it's a moral issue that needs to be taken seriously.
As for the ceasefire talks, the Palestinian movement revealed new details about the latest Israeli proposal for a ceasefire and prisoner exchange. The proposal includes releasing 10 Israeli captives, including Israeli-American soldier Eden Alexander, and a 45-day ceasefire, with border crossings reopened, but under Israeli conditions.
The movement stated that the proposal doesn't meet their key demands, especially a permanent ceasefire and a full withdrawal from Gaza. They believe the offer is mainly aimed at gradually taking the hostage card out of their hands. They're still reviewing it and haven't responded yet, according to a report by the BBC.
Palestinian official Tahir al-Nunu confirmed the movement is ready to release all Israeli captives as part of a comprehensive exchange deal that includes a ceasefire and an Israeli army withdrawal from Gaza, with international guarantees. He added that while the movement has shown flexibility during negotiations in Cairo, they've made it clear that the resistance's weapons are a red line and not up for discussion.
Now shifting to developments on the Egypt-Israel front, tensions have flared up.
The Israeli Knesset saw heated debates during a session discussing the situation on the border with Egypt, especially after reports surfaced about Egypt reinforcing its military in Sinai.
Israeli Orientalist Edi Cohen harshly criticized former Israeli ambassador to Egypt Amira Oron, accusing Egypt and President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi of hostility toward Tel Aviv and anti-Semitism. He claimed Egyptians see Israel as a permanent enemy.
In response, Egyptian expert in Israeli affairs Mohammed Aboud said Cohen is just a tool being used to attack Sisi, and that his comments are part of an organized campaign by Israeli circles upset with Egypt's stance on Palestine and its refusal to normalize relations with Israel.
Aboud added that the Knesset event was part of a media and political pressure campaign led by the Israeli right against Cairo.
In another twist, Israeli media warned of the Egyptian military's growing power, especially after it acquired advanced French Rafale fighter jets.
In a report titled Egypt is Getting Stronger, they showed footage of test flights for the new Rafales, heading to the Egyptian Air Force. The report said these jets could shift the balance of air power in the region.
The French company Dassault recently completed test flights for 2 Rafales as part of an ongoing deal with Cairo, allowing Egypt to purchase more of these state-of-the-art aircraft.
Moving from Cairo to the Turkish-Israeli tensions in Syria, Turkey's defense minister said, maintaining stability in Syria and preserving its territorial unity are crucial for the region's future. He emphasized Turkey's ongoing support to build up Syria's security and defense capabilities, and to keep fighting terror groups. Meanwhile, reports emerged that Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara met with an Israeli delegation in Abu Dhabi. Sources say they discussed the possibility of normalizing relations between Syria and Tel Aviv and explored Emirati investment opportunities in infrastructure projects in areas controlled by Syria's new regime. Now to the behind the scenes of US-Iran talks. Former US President Donald Trump said he held a meeting with his advisors to discuss the Iran file and hinted that a decision would be made very soon, though he didn't give any specifics. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told Fox News that Trump is seriously considering military options if Iran doesn't meet US conditions in the next round of talks. Meanwhile, Iran's foreign ministry announced that the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency will visit Tehran next Wednesday, while Moscow prepares to host Iran's foreign minister for talks with his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov and other senior officials. The UK government also announced new sanctions on Iran, though it didn't provide details about who or what is being targeted. Now let's switch gears to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Trump continues to put Ukrainian President Zelensky in awkward spots. At this point, embarrassing Zelensky seems to be Trump's new routine, while Zelensky keeps asking for aid.
Trump, responding to a journalist's question, said, "How do you keep asking for missiles over and over again? You can't pick a fight with someone 20 times bigger than you and expect to get missiles."
This came after Zelensky revealed that Ukraine had offered to pay $15 billion for 10 Patriot missile systems, but the US refused to sell.
Trump added that he's expecting very strong peace proposals soon to end the war. Speaking from the White House during a meeting with El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele, he said, "All I want is to stop the bloodshed. I think we're going to see very good proposals to end the Ukraine crisis soon."
Thanks a ton for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Here at X News, we're committed to bringing you real and honest news. See you in the next video.